भयशोकादिवर्जितः गीताध्ययनशील
वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय श्री कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्री कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्री कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्री कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्ण भगवान की जय।
हरि ओम। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषाम् धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतम् अपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेदि तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिम् आनतोऽस्मि। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। भवाब्धितारे भवती यतोरि सुधाब्धियाने सुखचित्प्रयाणे न ताप्तभाग्ये नरलोकभोग्ये सुधाप्रवाहे रमतां मनो मे। त्वदीयनीरे भवपाशदूरे यमादियोगे निजबोधचारे संसारतारे शिवभक्तिपूरे हिमाद्रिसारे रमतां मनो मे। तपः प्रभावे तरुणेन्दुभासे स्वतः प्रकाशे सुरलोकरासे भुवि प्रकाशे हिमभूविभासे श्रुतिप्रकाशे रमतां मनो मे। In the evening session, We meditated, we had a contemplation on the life of Dhruva and Rishabhadeva. Now we are entering into the story of Bharata. This comes in the Panchama Skandha, fifth Skandha. Fifth Skandha in Bhagavatam is full of Gadyam that we already saw. Verses, shlokas are also there, but mostly very long sentences are there. And they are also beautiful. In fact, in Sanskritam, Gadyam is more difficult than Padyam. Now, in the Panchama Skandha, we are entering the life of Bharata. We saw Rishabha Yogeshwara's life. That was a revelation. As Bhagavan says in Krishna Avatara, Gita, that if you have this jnanam, whatever may be your prarabdha, you can remain untouched by it like lotus leaf in water. Padma patram ivambhasa. Yatha pushkara palashaha apona shlishyate. Evam vidhi papam karma na shlishyante. The Shruti Vakya is that following that Bhagavan said in Gita, a jnani remains untarnished. Whatever may he have to do according to his prarabdha, he will not get tarnished. In Gita, Bhagavan took it to the highest extreme, where he said, Yasya nahankrito bhavo buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvapi sayiman lokan nahanti na nibadhyate. Even if he has to fight and kill, he is neither killing nor hurting anybody because he has no doership, no enjoyership. No karma will stick to him because his buddhi is perfectly clear. There is no ignorance there and he has no doership in him. So that is revealed in rare stories like Rishabhadeva, that he ruled the kingdom. Keeping him as an example only, Vidyaranya Swami in Panchadashi says, those who have this Tattva Jnana, Kartum Shakyam Rajyanushāsanam. They will be able to rule even a kingdom. And we can give example of Mahatmas like our Shivanandaji Maharaj also. They were also ruling a big kingdom. So many activities, so many service, so many devotees coming day and night engaged, all the while active, at the same time never losing one's spiritual state. So that is the Asharya, the wonder of Atma Jnana. Karmani akarmayah pashyed akarmani cha karmayah. Even if they are incessantly active, they are not doing anything. Shankaracharya says, Vidusha kriyamanam karma akarmaiva. The one who knows this Atma, even if he is incessantly active, he is not doing anything at all. Nothing will stick to him, nothing will touch. He is like a fish in slime. The fish will be lying inside the slime, but if you take the fish out, it will be shining. Nothing will stick to it. Like that, a Jivan Mukta lives in the world, has his prarabdha, but nothing sticks to him. He ever remains in samadhi. Samadhisthasya Keshava. That is samadhistha. So that example we got in Rishabhadeva. There is a subtle point here. As long as the person is striving and doing sadhana, he is depending on his doership and mind. So mind-oriented states will come and go. Till he finds anchorage in the self, his own existence, his own consciousness which never comes and goes. His jnana will also be in a yoga sthiti. Yogo hi prabhavapyayo. Yoga will come and yoga will go. So till that nididhyasana becomes fruitful in sakshat aparoksha sakshatkara, perfect realization, perfect awareness of the self, the states created in the mind will come and go. That the first example is Rishabhadeva, that his true jnana never he slipped from that state even though he ruled the kingdom. And the example for the second, that is a yoga sthiti. Yoga sthiti comes and goes. Sometimes there will be a sleep, he will become a yoga bhrashta also. For that, the example is Bharata's story. In Arjuna asks in Gita, suppose somebody is doing sadhana and he did not attain the highest realization in this life, or he might have a side tracking in spiritual life. What will be his state, O Bhagavan? Then Bhagavan says in Gita, nothing inauspicious can happen to a person who has come to this path. Nahi kalyanakrit kashit durgatim tata gacchati. One who has come to this kalyana marga, mangala marga. In Buddhism, I have heard, they have a very beautiful name for the Guru. And they say it is Kalyana Mitra. He is a friend who guides you in the auspicious path. He is the Kalyana Mitra. So here Bhagavan says one Kalyana means Mangalam, auspicious, pure. In that path there is no fall at all. After this birth he will go to some higher world and come back and take birth in good families, cultured families. And if he is a very ripe person, he will take birth in the family of a yogi. Athava yoginameva kule bhavati dhimatam. But that is very rare. Krishna says getting birth in the family of a yogi is very rare, because yogis generally they don't get married. So their direct lineage family will not be there. So very rarely it happens, birth happens in the yogi kula. This Bharata Yogeshwara first was born as a yogi's son, as a great yogi's son. And he ruled the Bharata Rajya. Bharadastu mahabhagavato yada bhagavatam avanitala paripalanaya sanchintitaham tadanusasana paraf panchajanim vishwarupa duhitaramupayemim. He had his marriage, he had children. Ajanabham namaitadvarsham bharatamiti yatarabhya vyapadishanti. Because of him, we got this name Bharata. Bharatam. That Raja ruled the kingdom very well, performed many yaga, yajnas, offered the result of those karma to Bhagavan, and thus his mind became pure and pure and pure. If you call worldly people to satsanga, they will say, we are not interested in all these things. We believe only pure mind. They think their mind is very pure. The sign of purity of mind is Vairagya, Bhakti and Tattva Jnasa. If it is not there, even if he looks like a pure man, it is not purity. Purity means turning towards the higher wisdom. That is the sign of purity. A Nastika, people usually ask, even if he is a Nastika, he is a good man. It is impossible. His goodness is only temporary. Because without the higher goal, the higher anchorage, nobility cannot happen. When the higher thing comes in life, naturally, apichet suduracharaha, even if he is a bad person, if he gets the higher goal in his life, then Chipram bhavati dharmatma, very soon he will become a pure person. Very soon he will attain purity. That is sure, that is certain. So, Bharata Yogeshwara led a very pure life, and through that purity he attained Brahma Jijnasa. He had the example of his father, Rishabhadeva, and Rishabhadeva has taught them Bhakti, Jnanam, Vairagyam. So all that became fruitful by the time he was somewhat old. He offered his kingdom to his elder son, renounced the kingdom, and went to the bank of Gandaki Nadi, where the Lord's presence, Sannidhi, is very powerful. There he did tremendous tapasya. Tatra tasmin vavakila sayekalah pulahashramopavane. That pulahashrama, he did elaborate puja to Narayana. He was not a jnana nishtha, he was a practicing sadhaka, yogi. Vivida kusuma kisalaya tulasikambubihi Kandamula phalopahareishya samihamanaha Bhagavata aradhanam vivikta uparata vishaya bilasha upabhrutopashamah param nirvritimavapa. Used to worship the Lord with flowers, with water, abhishekam, puja, and tears will roll down from his eyes. He had that bhakti samskara. And he used to stand neck deep in water in that river and do japa. While the time the sun arises, he will be standing doing japa. When he finishes the japa, it will be sunset. Such tapasya he was doing. Tayethama virata purusha paricharyaya Bhagavati pravardhamananuraga bharadruda hridaya shaithilyaha Praharshavegena atmani udbhidyamana roma pulaka kulaka Autkantya pravritta pranaya bashpa niruddhavalokana evam nijaramanaruna Charanaravindanudhyana parichita bhakti yogena paripluta paramahlad Gambhira hridaya hrida avagadha dishanaha Tamapi kriyamanam bhagavat saparyam na sasmara. He was doing that Bhagavat saparya, and he reached such a high trance-like state where he forgot everything and remained in that ecstatic state for hours and hours and hours. And big jata was formed in his head, and he used to wear only that Krishnajina, and used to chant mantra on Savitri Devata and do upasana of the Surya. And thus he was doing that tapasya, continuing tapasya, but that Maya is very powerful. Small things sometimes can disturb our tapasya. our dhyana. In Ramayana there is a story. One Maharshi was doing intense tapasya in forest. And of course, when somebody is doing much tapasya, naturally the story goes, Indra will start itching. So we have heard that somebody is doing tapasya, they will send all the apsaras. Stock is there, Menaka, Urvashi, all of them they will send. And usually everyone will fall. There is a very interesting story that Swami Venkateshananda has narrated, that somebody asked Gurudev Swami Shivananda, Shivanji Maharaj, Maharaj, we have heard that if we do tapasya, Indra will send all these Urvashi, Menaka and all to disturb their tapas. Will it happen nowadays also? And Shivanji Maharaj said, yes, it is quite possible. Then I want to do tapasya. Because the temptation is so attractive for them than the goal. He is doing tapasya to get tempted. So here, he is doing tapasya intensely in the forest. I am speaking about the Ramayana story. Indra was not ready to spend much. No Apsaras, Menaka and all these things were not sent. He just came, and to that tapasi's yogyada is like that. So he came and gave him a small knife. Said, keep it with you. I am going for a travel. When I come back, I will collect it from you. Keep this knives it is a family possession. Store it. And this sadhu always was carrying that knife, and soon he started cutting vegetable or cutting the forest grass with that knife. And one day some animal attacked him, he used it, and at last he became a violent person. Indra knew that, he never came back to collect the knife. So for all these apsaras are not necessary. Sometimes some Swamiji is doing tapasya. I have seen in Tiruvannamalai, some sadhu doing tapasya. Somebody will become very compassionate. They will donate to them a mobile. There end their tapasya. Day and night, staying with that. There the tapasya is over. I have seen things happening like that. So here, in Bharata Yogeshwara's case, see, Maya knows very well what will bring us down. She is Divine Mother. She knows where our weakness lies. She is only purifying us. We unnecessarily make an enemy out of her, and we say she is pulling us down from our spiritual ladder. Nothing. We are acting as if we are doing sadhana, and she knows something inner lies to be cleansed. So if she uses some method to bring it out and make you pure, that is all. She is purifier. She is Mahamaya. She is mother. Mother only knows when the child comes with all dust. Hey, go and take bath, she will say. And this boy will go inside bathroom, put water in his head, take the soap and put it in the tummy and come back. Then this is the way to bath. I will give you nice snana. And then she will put him down the shower, perhaps give him some beating also, and cleanse him. That is it. So like that here, Bharata was doing tapasya in the Chakra Nadi. In that place, a pregnant deer came. And that deer was pregnant. It was Purna Garbha. At that time, there was a roar of a lion. And this deer got afraid, terrified. It jumped and somewhere it was hit, and its Garbhapatra was torn, and that shava, we call it a shava, that baby deer, it fell into the water and started floating in the river and came and touched Bharata's body, what they call it as fawn. It came and touched Bharata's body. So, phone. Yes. So that it came and touched Bharata's body, and he looked at it. Compassion came to him towards that baby. He took that baby deer in his hand, went to the banks. He could have left it there and come back and started his tapasya. No. It's compassion. Compassion is okay, but he got attached to it completely. Compassion is needed, but suddenly that element, that principle completely brought out some hidden vasanas in him. He became tremendously attached to that baby animal, that baby deer. Day and night thinking about it, meditating on it, no thought about God now. Everything fell off. Namke vaste meditation was happening. But this deer will come and brush on his body, and he will feel so happy. And next day when he sits for meditation, he will be expecting the deer to come. It will come, it will sit in my lap. And we know, many people, they fondle their dog or cat or bird. In America, they even have pythons, sometimes tiger. If you press the calling bell, one tiger will come and stand in the window. Some lion or something very fearful situation is there in some places. So all things people are, they want something to show your affection. If you do not have a Saguna Sakara Murti to do bhakti, your love will go everywhere. That is why our rishis said you always need a Saguna Sakara Murti where you should pour your heart. Otherwise you will get attached to either your family. If you leave your family to some dog, some cat, something you will get attached. And you will think that is love, but that is nothing but some attachment. It will come. So he was so attached to that deer. And that animal was so attached to him also. These attachments are all very strange, especially for spiritual people. For a meditator, he will not get attached. But if he gets attached, he will deeply get attached. And worldly people, they will show attachment to you. But the moment you get attached to them, they will leave you. Their job is over. Now you will be yearning, longing, suffering, miserable. That is the state of this yogi. We can see in the world, old people thinking about their son, their daughter. So much money I spent, for his sake I have built a house. Somebody told me, I built a house with 19 bathrooms. I don't know for whom. At last he left everything. For my son, for my daughter, I built such a big house, and now they are not coming from abroad. They have built a bigger house there, and they don't want to come here, but here going on thinking about them. Dayita mama duhita mama janani mama janako mama kalpita mati santati marubhumishu niratam. Shankaracharya says, Hey Bhagavan, this mirage, my mind is in the mirage. It is not real. My wife, my son, my daughter, my wealth, my job, my house, thus goes the mind day and night, day and night, day and night. This marumarichika. There is no peace in me. This attachment deeply started growing inside Bharata Yogeshwara. And day and night he was thinking about that deer, and that deer, of course, it grew. You have a child and you are keeping it in your lap, but how many years? Suddenly he becomes so big, you can no more keep him in your lap. Like that, this deer also grew. It went with other animals, other creatures, and it was not to be seen. Day and night he is waiting like an old grandmother waiting for the nursery school grandson to come back from school. Waiting. 4:30 the auto will bring the child, but 3:30 she is waiting. Love is illogical. Love is irrational. When love comes, you know that only by 4:30 he will come. But this old granny will be waiting from 3:30. The child has not come. The child has not come. The child has not come. Like that, this yogi is waiting. This Bharata is waiting for that deer. It went away somewhere. It did not turn up for some days. Then this Bharata thought, oh Lord, getting attached to this animal, I have lost my tapas, my dhyana, my yoga, everything is lost. Now day and night I am thinking about this animal. Now I have to collect my mind from everywhere and put it on Bhagavan. And he started striving. By the time his body became sick, old, and was almost on the deathbed, but tremendous will, he was pulling his mind and trying to keep it in Bhagavan's form by the time the deer arrived. This is Maya. It will not allow you to escape. It came, and when he was dropping the body, it was standing near him with so much love, looking at him, and he was also looking at the deer, and his mind completely absorbed that form. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever form your chitta absorbs, and with whatever bhava you drop the body, with the same form, with that same bhava, you come take next birth. So here, this Bharata Yogeshwara left his body and took the form of that deer. But the tapasya done by him, the yoga abhyasa done by him, nothing will go waste. The entire yoga abhyasa that he has done, everything was awake. And past birth memory was also there in him. So that deer decided not to get connected with anyone. It was afraid of attachment, sangha, and it knew what has happened to him. So that deer spent all his life in an ashrama, in the presence of sages where they were doing satsanga or tapasya, spent all its time in the forest, in some hermitage, in some ashrama, or in the ekanta. Sometimes we will see such mysterious animals. In Ramanashramam we have seen many dogs. They will be constantly in Bhagavan Samadhi. In Maharshi's time also, there was a dog which used to sit before Maharshi. It will not eat any food even if given to it till Maharshi takes some food. And it will sit only in an ochre cloth, in a kashaya vastra. One day, some animal, some dog or monkey came outside and this dog was barking. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, close your eyes. Only if you look outside, you will see. Don't look, close your eyes. And it just closed its eyes, sat in meditation. And Lakshmi, that cow, was there. Mysteriously it was brought to Ramana Bhagavan. And he was so affectionate to that cow. One day that cow was standing near him still. And Bhagavan was telling some of his devotees, Lakshmi is now in Samadhi. Her mind is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And she was like that, always. Even when a cottage was built for her, a cowshed was built for her, she refused to enter till Maharshi came there. And in her last moment, Maharshi went near and touched her. So many cows were there, but this was special. When she dropped her body, Maharshi wrote a poem in which clearly he said she attained mukti. She was liberated. There was no vasana inside her. It was so sure declaration. So, in animal bodies also we come across very, very mysterious creatures. They stick to Mahatmas, they will be constantly living in ashramas. And it is not casual that we see some dogs here. That is not casual. Even the monkeys who are inside the ashrama, that is not casual. They have some samskara which has kept them inside a hermitage in the divine presence somewhere. So this deer also spent its life like that and dropped that body, and the last birth was, he was born in a Brahmana Sharira, in a Angirasa Gotra. A rishi had 2 wives, and in one wife he had many sons. In another wife, twins were born. One was a daughter, the other was a son, and that son was Bharata Yogeshwara. In that birth, what was his name? It is not revealed. Because he was born as a Jivan Mukta, even Shukacharya did not utter his name. Just with respect he said Brahmanaha, nothing else. Yastu tatra pumamstam parama bhagavatam rajarshi pravaram bharadam utsrishta mrga shariram charama sharirena vipratvam gadamahu tatrapi swajana sangacha brisham udvijamanaha. Sometimes without any reason we will have some fear, some attachment, something. There will not be any reason for that. The cause lies somewhere in the past birth. In Bharata's case also, this past experience was so deeply imprinted in him that there was a strong decision in him not to get attached to anything. Brishamudvijamanaha, there was a deep fear in him in getting attached to anybody, anything. So he behaved like a dumb, like a deaf, like a mentally retarded person. Bhagavataha karmabandha vidvamsa shravana smarana guna vivarana charanaravinda yugalam manasa vidadad atmanaha pratighadama shankamanu. In that life, unmatta jadanda badiraswarupena darshayamasa. Everyone considered him as a mentally retarded, a dunce, a deaf person, a dumb person. Like that he was behaving. Jada, Andha, Badira, Unmatta, insane, not intelligent. And father was so sad that such a son was born to him. He could not see through him. He tried to initiate him into the Vedic studies. Yajnopavita was given to him. Upanayana was done. And tried to teach him 6 months. You know what he tried? He did not try Samhita, Shaka, Padam, Kramam, nothing. Father tried to teach him Gayatri Mantra. Only Gayatri Mantra, nothing else. Even that, he was Sapranava Shiras Tripadim Savitrim Graishma Vasantikan Masan Adhiyanam Api Asamaveta Rupam Grahayamasa. Even if for some months Gayatri was taught, at least let him chant. Generally I say in Padashala, all children will not be same. Those who have that culture, those samskara, those who come in such family, they easily will grasp. And the entire complex Sandhyavandana process they will understand and they will do. But some children will be there, to them even pronunciation will be very difficult. They cannot chant even a small shloka. So generally I will tell the Adhyapaka, let them first study Gayatri. Then let them learn how to do Ajamana and Argya and some Namaskara. That is enough. First, let it be strong. Then we can have slowly add one by one and train them the entire process of that Sandhyavandana. But here, he is a Jivan Mukta Purusha, hidden yogi. He behaved like this. He didn't want to chant anything, but they will not allow. They will say, you should do this mantra. Once you start studying, then it has no end. So he decided better stop in the very beginning. Because go on studying, no end. So better in the very beginning stop it. So he stopped there. He didn't show any intelligence. So father decided, Sadhu, I am very unfortunate that I had such a son. Sometimes he will take bath, sometimes he will not take bath. All of them will be doing Sandhyavandana, he will be sitting without doing anything. Then that father, thinking about his son, he became sick. He was laid. And then he called his elder sons and told them, please take care of your younger brother. He is unintelligent. He doesn't know anything. So please provide him all necessities, take care of him. When father died, these elder ones, they didn't care about their younger brother. They were very busy, very well learned, very scholarly. So whatever old things they will give to him, 2 days old food, all those things will be given to him. And Shukacharya says, he will put food in his mouth as you will put something in a bag. No complaint, no desire, nothing. These Vedic scholars, they knew Karma Kanda, but they had no intimation about the jnana. Pitari uparate bhrataraha yena matat prabhavidaha trayameva vidyayam paryavasitamatayah. Their studies all ended in Karma Kanda. Na paravidyayam. They had no entry into the paravidya, paravidya, brahmavidya. Jadamatiriti bhratuhu anushasana nirbandhanyavriksanta. And slowly they sent him to work somewhere. Go and, because very strong body, no conflict. Whatever food goes, it goes inside, gets digested. No complaint. Ready to work. Any work you give, he will do. So they took him to a sugarcane farm. There he had to take care of that farmland. So he was sitting there, not doing anything. He has to just take care. Elephants will come or some animals will come and destroy the field. But he was looking. There is a story about Tukaram that he was kept there to guard. But he was singing and dancing. Like that, Jadabharata also was sitting without any movement. At that time, one Nishada, one forest living chieftain, those who hunt and live in the forest, tribal. We cannot exactly say tribal, But they were all like something like robbers also. So they were very cruel people. So they decided to do a Pashubali, Narabali. And they caught hold of a person, but that person somehow ran away. Now they wanted another human body. So they were searching where to find. Suddenly they saw Bharata sitting there in the night, Paurnami, sitting still, silent, not moving. They thought, a very healthy person, why not take him? Let us catch hold of him. So they moved round, made a circle, encircled him and went near, but he did not even react. Then they had doubt whether it is a statue or real human being. Tad Vishnoho paramam padam sada pashyanti surayaha diviva chakshura tatam. The Veda says his eyes are open but vacant, not flickering, not looking at anything, but inwardly it is located in that Vishnupada, in that Vaikuntha, not gazing at anything. The gaze is clean, vacant, sitting like a statue. So they encircled him, went near him, he did not resist. They lifted him, he stood up, asked him to walk, he walked. They thought it is very easy. One person said he has no idea where we are taking. The moment he sees that Bhadrakali's statue, he will run. So be very careful. So they took him to the place where they are going to give that Bali, offering of human body, human head. So they took him there. Inside that temple, the Bhadrakali's figure was there. Very interestingly, he went and looked and observed everything. Then also there was no reaction. So these people decided it's very easy. Bali we got today. Gave him a good bath. He was very happy because too hot. Gave good cleaning bath and put the leaf and had sumptuous meal. They are going to kill him. So before that, good food was given. He had a full meals, very, very tasty food. He ate about 2 or 3 people's food he ate. They were wonderstruck because even suppose if you are going to have a surgery and the doctor says we are not sure, you have to put signature, will you be able to eat food? Now they are going to give the Bali, the Bhadrakali is there and that big dagger is there, that sword is there and a person is standing with the sword. Seeing that, how can you eat? But nothing disturbed him. He took a bath, he took the food, had a very nice chapad, very good feast. And then he sat there and they gave a good garland, a red hibiscus garland in his neck. They put, that was also, he was playing with that garland. Nothing could shake him. And then, Ataha Vrishalarajapanihi Purushapashoho Asrigasavena Devim Bhadrakali Mekshyamana Tadabhimantridam Asim Adikaralam Nishitam Upadade. That Vrishalaraja, he took a big sword. That seeing that sword, everyone will be terrified, afraid. But Bharata Yogi looked at that sword unaffected because he knew there is no death for me. That is real jnanam. Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo ashoshayevacha. Nothing can cut me. I am not this body. I am Brahma. I am the Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupa. Nothing can touch me, nothing can have any effect on me. He was remaining unshaken like that. Iti desham vrishalanam rajastamah prakritinam dhanamada utsikta manasam bhagavat kala veerakulam kadarti kritya utpathena svairam viharatam himsa viharanam karma atidarunam yad brahma bhutasya sakshat brahmarshi sudasya nirvairasya. Shukacharya goes on giving adjective to Jadabharata. He says, who is he? Yad brahma bhutasya, he has become one with Brahman. Sakshat brahmarshi sudasya, he is the son of a brahmarshi. Nirvairasya, he has no hatred towards anyone. Sarvabhuta suhridaha, he is the friend of all. Sunayam api ananumatam alambhanam tadupalabhya. Even when he was going to be killed, he had no hatred, he had no fear. He remained unperturbed, undisturbed in that samadhi state, seeing that Bhadragali could not tolerate. That Bhadragali, Brahma Tejasa Adi Durvishahena Dandahyamana Vabusha Sahasa Uchachada Saiva Devi Bhadragali. That Bhadragali came out of that statue and gave out such a roar, took her sword and started dancing, cutting the heads left and right, and all those demons were all, evil men were all cut, their heads were all rolling there like balls, and she was dancing amidst those dead bodies. Then another wonder happened. In Shankaracharya's life also this happened, that Bhairava took Shankara to him and was about to ask his head, kill him. At that time, Padmapada had the Narasimha Vesha. So Padmapada came running there and killed that Bhairava. And in his body was the manifestation of Narasimha. And seeing that, Shankaracharya wrote a stotra. Srimad Payo Nidhiniketana Chakrapani Bhogindra Bhogmaniranjida Punyamurte Yogi Shashashvata Sharanya Bhavabdhipota Lakshmi Nrsimha Mamadehi Karavalambam. That stotra was written. But here Bhadrakali is also doing the same thing. She was protecting that great Mahatma, that Brahmajnani. She killed the Nishada king. But this Jadabharata was least sensitive. No response, no thanks. He did not even express a thanks to Bhadrakali. Bhadrakali expected at least a small dhanyavad, to shukriya. Nothing came. He just started walking. Bhadrakali asked, hey, what? He asked, what? Are you not feeling grateful? Why? You were rescued from death. I am rescued from death long back. Death can never visit me. This body has to fall today or tomorrow. Okay, I thought this is the best way to die. Tuck, 1 minute over. But now, in between you came. Okay, it shows I have prarabdha to live, some other work to do. So let me finish that also. And he went away. Bhadrakali felt very bad. See, this Jivan Muktas are very mysterious, you know. There was one Jivan Mukta called Naranat Brandhan. He will be just roaming about. Wherever he could notice fire, there he will have his Bhiksha Patra, keep it there in that fire, put water in it and cook the food, eat and sleep there. That was his rule. One day he saw fire only in a smashana, in a cremation ground. There some body was burning. He kept the pot there put the rice in it and threw some water, and it was burning. And he had his food and started sleeping there. And in night, this Mashana Bhadrakali is there. This Bhadrakali and all the Bhutaganas of Rudra, they will come to that particular Smashana and dance. But they are not like some city men. They also have some decorum, that they will not dance when somebody is there. So they came and they saw snoring. He's sleeping there. He said, some human being, you just give a roar, he will be afraid and go. And they roared and roared and roared. Nothing had any effect on him. He was making much more bigger snore. Then Bhadragali said, I will frighten him. She went near him, touched him. He said, I rolled that side and slept. Then she woke him up and said, don't you see me? Yes, I see you. I am Bhadragali. Okay. We will speak tomorrow morning. A smile. Again going to sleep. She said, a human being, you should not lie down here. Who are you to say that? See, I am Bhadragali. Let it be so. I want to sleep. Then she said, see, where human beings are there, we cannot dance. Then you go somewhere and dance. This is our nishtha, our discipline, that in the night we have to dance in smashana. I also have a nishtha. Where I find fire, there I will cook, and there I will lie down and I will sleep. I cannot change it. And at last Bhadragali said, I will frighten you. You can frighten, but to fear or not, I have to decide. Then she got upset because somebody is not afraid of her. She said, you must be really a jnani. So I will give you some boon. Ask. I have nothing to ask. You ask, then you yourself suggest something. So, okay, tell me when I will die. What is the date in which I will die? She correctly told, this month, this date, this time. Extend it for 1 day, he said. That is not possible. Okay, put it the day before. That is also not possible. Then he said, then what can you do? I have some pain in my right leg. Transfer it to the left leg and go. And she did that and went away. So this is a very funny story, but it reveals that a jnani is not affected by anything. Not only by human being, but by devatas, by any spirits. Nothing is not affected by anything. Thus this Jadabharata went away from there. On the road, he met his destiny. The king Rahugana, the king of that Sindhu Desha, Sauvira Desha, was going in his palanquin. Suddenly one of the bearers, the servants, became weak, could not bear that weight. So they were searching for some other person. They saw Bharata sitting there, Jada Bharata sitting there, very healthy. They called him. And he was in a meditative mood and very careful in the walk also, because ants were going. So many ants, line by line they were going. So he was very carefully walking, not hurting them. So they put that carrying that rod, that pestle in his shoulder. So he started carrying that, and so many others were also there. But they could not go in a speed because he will walk very slow. He was not aware that this in his shoulder something is there and some king is sitting. He was not aware of it. Suddenly some line of ants were there. He made a jump. And just think about the state of the person sitting there. Somebody is carrying him. He is a king. And he is going to hear a lecture, a satsanga from Kapila Bhagavan. But on the way he came across such a being and made him a worker, a carrier, and he was carrying him in a palanquin, and suddenly he made a jump. And whole thing tumbled. And that king from that Sapramanja, he asked, what is happening? All other workers, they said, this new person, he has come. He is doing this. Then king looked at him. Rahugana looked at him. He is very healthy, very young. He behaves like an old person. Walking slowly, suddenly becoming fast. Suddenly jumping. Then the king said, who are you? You are very old, very slim, very weak, not able to walk. My dear brother, you know I am the king, he said. But he didn't even care, he didn't even look. Just walking. King was mysteriously watching him. What is happening to this fellow? Perhaps he is a mentally retarded person. Then after some time, again he made a jump. Then king became very angry. You know, I will punish you. I will make them beat you. I am the ruler of this kingdom. Don't you have any respect to me? Hearing this, evam bahuviddam bahu abaddham abhibhashamanam naradeva bhimanam rajasadhamasanu vidhena madena tiraskrita shesha bhagatvat priyaniketam pandidamaninam sa bhagavan brahmano brahmabhutaham sarvabhuta suhridatma yogeshwaracharyayam na adivyutpannamatim smayamana iva vigatasmaya idamaha. The king could not detect, intuit that he is a Jivan Mukta. And he did not reveal, but he was constantly insulting him. Suddenly he just had a glance at the king. His gaze fell on him. That was something deeply was stirred in the king. And the Brahmana opened his mouth. He said, I am not walking. I am not going anywhere. I am neither fat nor slim. I am neither fair nor dark. I have no body. I have no connection with this body. I am the pure self. Nothing can touch me. Tvayoditam vyaktam avipralabdham bhartuhu same syad yadi veera bharaha gantur yati syad adhigamya madhva piveti rashauna vidam pravadaha. I am neither fat nor slim. I have no path to go. I am not walking. There is no distance to cover. Staulyam karshyam vyadhaya adhayasya kshut trid bhayam kali richa jaracha nidra ratihi manyuhu aham madashujaha dehena jadasyihi name santi. Becoming fat or becoming slim, disease, depression, stress, hunger, thirst, desire, old age, sleep, pleasure, anger, ego, all are only for a person who is embodied. And he says, I have no body. I have no body. I am not at all associated with the body. And you say you will punish me. How can you punish me, punish a person who has no body? And I myself has punished this body in severe cold, in severe heat, without food, whatever food is given. Now what more punishment are you going to give? Hearing this, the king suddenly woke up. He recognized that he was going to hear Atma Vidya from Kapila Bhagavan, but on the way he has met an equally great Mahatma and he has done some apachara to a great Mahapurusha. He jumped from that Sapramanja and fell flat before the yogi and asked Bhagavan, who are you? Kastvam nigudasharasi dvijanam bibharshi sutram katamo vadhutaha. Kastvam, are you? Who are you? Nigudhaha charasi. You are a hidden yogi, but like a Brahmana, you are wearing this Brahma Sutra. This Yajnopavita is there. Uru Mashi, it is all dark. Generally, they will change it once in a while, but he has never changed. His father has given him that. He was wearing that. He has not removed it, taken sannyasa or anything. It is just there lying like any, like as Shankaracharya says, putting a garland in a cow's neck. The cow will go on with that garland. Even when the garland withers, all the flowers withers and becomes dry, then also it will be going on with that. Like that he was wearing that sutra also. And he had no attachment to any form, any special form. But here Raja is asking, who are you? Whose son? Whose? In what parampara? Who are you? Kasyasi kutratya ihapi kasmad kshemaya nasyedasi nota shuklaha. Are you have come to test me? You are Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. You are Kapila Vasudeva. I don't fear Vajra of Indra. I don't fear the Shula of Shiva. I am not afraid about Agni, Surya, Soma, but I am afraid about doing some harm, some insult to a Mahatma, to a Jivan Mukta Purusha. Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajrat, na Tryakshashulan na Yamasya Pashat, na Yamasya Dandad, na Agnirka Soma Nilavitta Pastrad, Shanke Brisham, Brahma Kula Vamanat. Tadbruhya sango jadavan nigudha vijnana viryo vicharasya paraha vachamsi yoga grathitani sadho nanaha kshamante manasa pibhetum aham cha yogeshwaram atmatattva vidam muninam paramam gurum vai prashtum pravrittaha kimiharanam tat sakshad harim jnana kalavatirnam Savaibhavan loka nirikshanartham avyaktalingo vicharasya bisvit yogeshwaranam gatim andhabuddhi katham vijakshita grihanubandha. Bhagavan, I am only a person attached to family life. How can I know the teaching of a Yogeshwara, a Jivan Mukta? You say you are not attached to the body, nothing can touch you. But I see that when you put a pot in fire and put water inside it and put rice, the pot becomes hot, the water boils and the rice is cooked. Like that the body, when it gets hurt, will not the inner being also get hurt? He is asking such a question. By the time everybody kept that Sapramanja down, and this Brahmana went and sat in a rock, and the king, like a disciple, was standing with humble namaskara, pranama. Here, seeing him, Jadabharata said, you do not know anything. You think that you know everything. Akovitaha. You do not know anything. Kovidavadavadan vadadi. Like a knowledgeable person you speak. A person who knows Adhyatma Vidya, that Vedanta Jnana, he will not confuse the Karma Kanda and Veda Jnana. Na Surayohi Vyavahara Tatvavamarshena Sahamananti. This Vyavahara and Tattva Jnana are different. Vyavahara, they have their own rule. But when you give importance to Tattva Jnana, these shlokas are very important when we do manana, nididhyasana and try to live the spiritual life. These are all very, very revealing verses. So, he said, you can have this jnanam only when you fall at the feet of a Mahapurusha. I was also a king like you, and due to attachment, I was born as a deer and then in this Brahmana Sharira. See, we will always doubt, how did we get the story of Bharata taking birth as a deer and then as a Brahmana? It is revealed by him to Rahugana. Only then it came out. Otherwise the story, how could have it come out? So it was revealed by Jada Bharata to Rahugana, then only the story was known. Saying this, he says, hey Rajan, till you Veda Atma Tattvam, till you know the Atma Tattvam, you will remain wandering in delusion. Brahmati Hatavat. Hey Rajan, you should approach a Guru and stay with him, become humble and serve him. Guroho Harehe Charanopasanastraha Jahivyalikam Swayamatma Mosham. This ignorance must be removed and you should get established in the Atman. The Kshetrajna within you is Narayana himself. Saying this, he became quiet. Rahugana said, O Lord, your words are nectar. It is like Amrita for me. I am hurt by this body identification. You have given me the right medicine. Namo Namakarana Vigrahaya Swarupa Tuchikrita Vigrahaya Namo Vadhuta Dvijabandhulinga Nigudha Nityanubhavaya Tubhyam Jvaramayartasya yathagadam sad Nidagadagdhasya yatha himambaha Kudehamana hi vinashta drishte Brahman vajaste amritam aushadam me. Blessing him, Bharata Yogeshwara walked away. The last Upadesha is, you become Asanga and have Susanga. Tasman Naraha Asanga Susanga Jata Jnanasina. The Jnana will come to you when you have Asanga towards the world, detachment towards the world, and Satsanga with Mahatmas. Then you will have Jnanam, and with that Jnanam, you cut asunder this Moha, delusion, and hear about Bhagavan, meditate on him, remain always in Samadhi, and thus as an awakened, enlightened being, move about in this world as a Jivan Mukta, as a free person. Saying this, Jadabharata walked away, and blessing Rahugana, he walked away. After this, in Panjamaskanda, there are many Varnanas, which we have no time to look. In the 6th Skanda, we have some beautiful stutis and some stories also. We will just touch it evening, and then elaborately we will see Prahlada Charitram. Elaborately means the time which is permitted for us. That time we will see Narasimha Avatara tomorrow evening, and in night we will have Ashtama Skanda, and of course day after tomorrow Krishna Avatara, Krishna Katha for 2 days, and thus we can offer this Bhagavata Saptaham in the divine presence of Gurudev Swami Shivananda Ji Maharaj. Today is Vishu Sankrama. On this auspicious day, we had the meditation on Bhagavatam. We have this blessed opportunity to be here to have this satsangam. We will continue it tomorrow. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachyam mama kinchidasti yatha taveshtam kurumam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhajami sarvatra govindanama sankirtanam जानकीकान्तस्मरणं हर नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव.
वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. श्रीकृष्ण